Hey everyone, Deci's here with another video. In this video, I want to talk about kind of a subject that's been navigating through my mind in the past few weeks, and just kind of about life in general, but I would love to relate it to EverQuest as well. And that is just the intellectualizing versus feeling in life, and naturally EverQuest. In this video, I'm going to be playing on my Shaman, the Wise Runner. I got him level 56. In Grob right now, I'm just kind of platforming, and I think it perfectly relates to what I want to talk about in this video. So kind of the first thing I want to talk about is the foundation of EverQuest and kind of its origins, why it is how it is. And I don't want to get too specific or researched in this video. It's mostly just my own personal ramblings as usual. But EverQuest is built on numerical code. It's built on algorithms and structured integrals that have specific inputs and outputs based on the player's behaviors, and the player's behaviors are primarily dictated by the foundation of the game's code itself. And that's definitely the large kind of purpose of EverQuest and the intentions that the developers had when creating this game. The leveling systems, the specific loot, the specific stats, and the effects the stats give for gear, it all is rooted very numerically, and there is an immense level of order. I'm going to turn the sound down because I have it connected to my other speakers. There's an immense order in the game, and that's naturally is very comforting for humans. And I guess to relate this to real life, I mean, we all experience real life. It is something that we all participate in one way or another. And it allows us to have the leisure time to play EverQuest in the first place, to have the luxury of being able to play this online world that has a lot of roots in just the real life world that we interact with on a daily basis. But it's a little bit different in real life, because real life isn't structured on numerical code or algorithms. You could say that the biology that is designed on our planet and over millennia of just evolution and plants and animals, like, there is some sort of code, you could say, but as humans, we're really unable to fully grasp the reality of that. And so there's a lot more ambiguity in our everyday way of life. And naturally, our minds are very rationalistic. They are very... Ooh, I'm gonna fucking die. I gotta heal myself quick. They're very rooted in logic, and I think humans find a lot of solace in being able to break things apart based on code and based on specific inputs and outputs from specific behaviors. And I think that's why we really enjoy EverQuest, at least a big portion of it, on a mechanical level. I think there is so much more to EverQuest though, and that's what I want to tackle more of in this video, of why this game is truly special and how we can learn so much about ourselves playing this game. And playing MMOs in general, but EverQuest specifically. I am going to med for a little bit right here. And the first thing I want to talk about is social dynamics. Or I guess the second thing I want to talk about is social dynamics. The preface is that EverQuest is based off numerical code, and it incentivizes the player to look at the game on that mechanical, numerical, logical level that the foundational engine of the game is built on. And how life itself outside of EverQuest isn't really built on that same kind of design blueprint. So we have to interact with those two different realities in a different way. The second thing I want to talk about is the social dynamics, as allowed within the boundaries of the system of EverQuest. I think we can all agree on this, that one of the most beautiful things about EverQuest is the social connections that you can foster while playing the game. It's just really unparalleled compared to a lot of other games that I've personally played in my life, and I'm sure other games you've played in your life as well. There's just something about EverQuest that really lets you just connect more with people and have more organic experiences based off of shared circumstances and necessities to rely on others and their unique abilities and skill sets that actually have a tangible effect in collaboration when you're playing a game together. Like, let's say you're in a group and you are a warrior, you are playing with an enchanter and a cleric, and maybe a rogue. All of these specific classes have very specific roles in the group. They are the opposite of homogenized. They are so unique and they all provide a different utility. The warrior is tanking and trying to mitigate damage. The enchanter is crowd controlling, maybe charming a mob, doing some mezzes if there's some extra mobs in the pool, slowing the mobs, casting dots. There's so much utility for enchanters. They're such a fun class to play. Definitely recommend playing an enchanter. You have the rogue who's trying to position himself in the back of the mob to land backstabs and just do some extra damage. And then you have the cleric who is healing the tank and maybe patch healing other characters in the group that may have taken damage. And also on top of that, the buff system. The enchanters are giving clarity and haste. The clerics are giving hit point buffs, and I think they have regen. I don't really play a cleric, so I should probably know that. But every class is able to provide assistance and support to each other. And on top of that, the game is not that fast-paced. There's a lot of time to kind of sit around and chit-chat. You have to med, like what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of manitic dancing. There's just so much uniqueness that really fosters connection, and I guess that's just what I want to get at. And I think we experience that in real life as well, in a different way. All of us in real life bring something unique to the table. We might not fit within an EverQuest class or have certain stats or gear or the numerical incentives that the EverQuest system has, but we all have our unique interests and skill sets and our own pasts that really shape who we are in a certain way. Not to be too deterministic, but we definitely carry with us so much uniqueness that allows us to connect with others in ways that anyone else wouldn't be able to connect to that person on that certain way. And that's something that I think EverQuest and real life intimately and fundamentally share, is that uniqueness and the ability to organically connect based on the uniqueness and based on the slowness of life as well. I think that life, it's easy to get caught up in the fact that life is very fast-paced and that there always needs to be things that need to be done and that we don't have enough time in the day to do anything. But I think that is a narrative that keeps us bound in living in that way. And I think EverQuest can really show to us that life doesn't have to be so fast-paced and that it's okay to take your time, and it's okay that things grow slowly. And EverQuest is a beautiful life lesson of that. I think it's a reality that things that grow, they don't grow quickly, and they're not meant to. Good things grow slowly. And I think EverQuest really is tapped into that. And aside from that, aside from just the social connections based off uniqueness, there's also trading and bartering systems, which are innately capitalistic and, just the human enterprise of trading and economics and all the theories that relate to that. There's role-playing events. There's just an intimate culture in EverQuest. There's buffing, gear, loot, guilds, raiding, certain groups, certain zones. Hello, Basher Razbaz. There is definitely an EverQuest culture. And no matter what server you're playing on, if you're playing on Project 1999, you're playing on the new Fangbreaker server, you're playing on Teak, you're playing on an EverQuest Live server, you're playing on Project Lazarus, you're playing on the Hero's Journey, you're playing on Project Quorum. No matter what version of EverQuest you're playing on, you are playing EverQuest, and you are experiencing the beautiful culture and fundamental engine and design that the EverQuest system provides to its players. And what I want to get at more so about feeling in life, I think a lot of what I've been talking about is primarily intellectualizing life. And so what do I mean by intellectualizing versus feeling in life? Well, I think, for me at least, intellectualizing in life is when you look at life on a very superficial level based off of abstract symbols and just abstract, more so numerical and logical thinking in life. Maybe you're just thinking about money more, or you're thinking about specific statistics. It really doesn't matter, but I think it's anything that doesn't involve direct emotion and connection with body. And it can be so many things. I don't think there's really... That's the thing about intellectualizing. There's so many variables that could fit the criteria of intellectualizing in life. But I think it's just mostly looking at life as through symbols, as through written text, as through numbers, as through however there is an abstract means of conveying an idea that isn't directly through feeling, through emotion, through social connection. And I think a lot of our everyday lives are very structured in this way. A lot of jobs, like office jobs, you're working with symbols. You're not working with people as much or tangible objects to manipulate. You're manipulating symbols, and there is a disconnection between your input and the output and the means of production. And so that's kind of what I mean by intellectualizing. And I kind of already talked about it a little bit, but like feeling in life, I think it's also an abstract thing because, and I'm saying abstract a lot, I'm sort of on purpose, kind of to represent the ambiguity in life, in that even trying to break down the difference between a certain binary thinking and a more nuanced, open way of thinking is inherently bound by intellectualization and binary thinking in and of itself. So I think the talk I'm even having is sort of kind of a fallacy of a sense, or just kind of a paradox maybe. I don't know a good way of putting it, but I think it's still interesting to chat about. So for feeling in life, I view it personally as, say you're looking at a painting or something, and you feel in your heart or your mind or your soul just some sort of intuitive connection, some sort of intuitive engagement to it. that you don't even think about. It's not something that you try to consciously put forth into your mind or try to grasp like you're trying to. It just is. You're just feeling it. Maybe it's in your gut, maybe it's in your throat. Maybe it is in your head. Maybe it comes out as certain emotions or just feelings, you know? It's not really, I don't really have a better way of conveying that right now. But I think that in EverQuest, externally, the way it's presented as well as internally the way it's constructed is very much from symbols and numerical values. But it's our own interpretations of it and our own ways of connecting with it and being a part of it that really shape the feeling of it. And I think it really helps in having more fun playing the game and not getting too caught up in the systems. Right now, objectively, I am in Grob and I'm killing guards and I am earning platinum. And I could break it down to a science. I could make an Excel spreadsheet. I could calculate the exact average of plat that I make per hour. I could calculate the proportion of necklaces that I get versus any other item, or the probability of a gem dropping that has a little extra platinum on it. You can really go super far in this game to create even more abstract, intellectualized systems to track the numerical component of the game. And I definitely see that a lot, and I definitely follow those blueprints when I play the games, because there's best in slot lists, there are trade skill guides, there are a lot of quests in this game that are definitely dependent upon the numerical systems and trade skills and 0-1 binary kind of inputs and outputs for the quest design. So it's something you can't really help when you're playing this game. It's something that you... Oh, I gotta root this guy. Where did you come from? You must have just spawned in. It's something that you play with and you participate in. And I think it's just like with life. There are the systems that we have to participate in on a daily basis in order to perpetuate our existence and to survive. But there's also so much more to it as well. And it's just about the balance that we have between those, that intellectualizing versus feeling in life, that helps us to grow as people, to grow as EverQuest players, to grow our own relationships with each other, and to just have fun, and to learn that it's okay to go slow, and that life doesn't have to be a race. That's something that I've definitely been contemplating more of, and EverQuest has been a beautiful teacher in that, teaching me that life doesn't have to be super fast paced, and that it's okay to take your time, and that it's really not all a rush. You don't have to be prey to FOMO systems that make you feel bad for not being in the cutting edge of a new update or new gear or anything. And that kind of way of thinking just kind of causes more suffering in the end. And I don't think that suffering is worth it for me personally. So thank you, EverQuest, for being a lifelong teacher. showing me the distinctions between the numerical systems that we operate within in life and the abstract symbols that come with that. And to find within those systems connections with others, feeling your intuition about who you are as a person and what you want to do, and to grow with others and to foster relationships and to learn to have fun and not take things so seriously. So anyways, that was my little chat for this morning. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking about it. And if you like EverQuest videos, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We are hitting 2,000 subscribers pretty darn soon here, which is absolutely fantastic. So without further ado, I will see you in the next video. Take care.